Well, good afternoon, at least afternoon where I'm at, YouTube. I was working on this little piece here. This is a center section for a custom 57 Chevy truck that's tubbed and pretty neat. Anyways, while I was doing this, I thought, this would be kind of fun to show. This is about color sanding and polishing. So I painted this piece, I think 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago now. And we never did do a color sand polish or anything like that on it. So while I was working on it, I saw a couple dirt nibs in the clear coats. What we're going to do is we're going to take a razor blade, and I've already got most of them out, so this is going to be kind of hard to show. But if you look very closely here, there you go. You can see a little dirt nib right there. I've shaved it down with a razor blade. Now, you can use water. I've been doing this for so long that I kind of know how I'm feeling, but soapy water works great. And you can come and you just shave these dirt nibs down. That way, when you go to do your polishing or your color sanding, your paper isn't riding up and over that little bump. And it takes a while, depending on your technique of color sanding. Everybody's got a different technique. Everybody uses different products. I have tried every product on the book. I have a system that I use that's fairly decent. When I get time, I'll go through on a fresh paint job like the Evening Orchid car. We'll go through and kind of show some different techniques. Everybody, like I said, everybody's got a different way of doing it. But those little dirt nibs right there, we just take and shave them down. You're not hurting anything. You're taking that dirt nib out so your paper doesn't jump over and sand everything around it, and it takes forever for that dirt nib to disappear when you're sanding. So in this process, I noticed that I got not too much peel in it, but a couple of dry spots. So I'm going to hit this really quick with 1,000. Then I'm going to go to 1,500, 2,000, 2,500, because the polish I use now works really well with 2,500. This is kind of a long process. As I said before, everybody's got a different way. This is what works for me. It's just kind of a little tip that makes your sanding and polishing a little bit easier, especially when you get a lot of dust or dirt or anything like that in it. This was a huge project. I had a billion pieces in my paint booth at one time in a very cramped paint booth. And there was two of us painting this truck at the same time because there were so many parts. This is a white base coat with a red pearl over the top of it, and it took a long time to paint and make sure that we counted every layer, every stroke, every pass. It was just very complicated. But this is going to be a kind of a series, a 2-part, maybe 3-part, maybe a 4-part. I don't know. I think I've said before, I'm not into editing. I don't have time for that stuff. Maybe if I had a lot of money, I'd hire an editor. But for right now, we're going to just start with this, and then we'll move on to the next one. I'm going to hit it with 1,000 grit now with a block, get it as smooth as we can. So you can kind of see the reflection. I use reflections as my guides to from body work through paint. The reflections, I'll move back and forth, and I'll look for any kind of waves or imperfections in the body work, paint work, whatever. Any kind of just use your eye to focus on a reflection and then move back and forth, and you can see if there's any waves in it. This line, if there was a big wave here, that line would go like that. So this will be part 1, and look for part 2. All right, thank you very much.